And now for a review I wasn't sure I was going to film. The book that I'm going to talk about is Shadowshaper. If you don't know this book, if you haven't heard of it, it has received starred reviews from every professional journal for young adult literature that I know of. Every single one, starred review. It was also, prior to the Newbery and the Prince Award announcement, listed on several of the mock blogs or websites that were trying to guess what the awards would be. It was shortlisted on several of those. So I thought, I better read this book. It must be amazing. So I did read Shadowshaper. Now, one of the things that lots of reviews, not just professional, but user reviews say, or talk about, is the cover. And I will say, cover is great. Cover will sell this book, for sure. With the strong woman, the Hispanic woman on the cover, this is going to be a good seller. So, and that's good. I mean, I mentioned covers from time to time because sometimes the covers are so terrible. But in this case, great cover. But why my hesitation? Well, I didn't love this book. Now, I didn't hate this book, but I found this book to be fine. It seems to me it'll be an easy sell, especially with my Hispanic students, of whom I have quite a few. It's a fantasy, so the story will sell. It's all fine. I'm happy to have this book. I'm glad I have it in my library. I will surely recommend it or point it out to various students who are looking for something new. That's all great. But did I find it to be star review worthy? No, I did not. And whenever that happens, when I feel so differently from what other people are saying, I really question myself about what is it that I'm not seeing in this case. So let me tell you why I didn't care for this book. Well, let me tell you first what the book is about. Sierra is the main character. She is an artist. As the book begins, she's painting a mural on the side of a huge building. She's painting a dragon. Her grandfather had a stroke almost a year ago and really hasn't spoken or done much of anything since then. But suddenly, he reaches out and talks to her and tells her that she needs to keep painting the mural, she needs to paint faster, she needs to find this boy Robbie, who is somebody she knows from school, from art class, but they're not friends, they're not really anybody they don't really hang out together, so she doesn't even know why her grandfather knows this person. Sierra has noticed some strange things. Nearby where she's painting her mural, there is a huge mural of a man from the neighborhood who died recently, and his mural seems to be fading, as well as other paintings that she sees around the city. And one day, while she's painting the mural of the man she knows, she sees tears rolling down its face. She sees him moving, which she assumes she must be crazy. But she goes to a party where she starts talking to Robbie, because her grandfather told her to. And she tells him these things, and rather than being shocked, he tells her, yes, that's the Shadowshapers, that she can see these things. And he tells her a little bit about Shadowshapers, but not much, which is one of the issues I have with this book, because she doesn't really find out what a Shadowshaper is. I mean, the nuts and bolts of it, until a long ways into the book. And let me tell you, if I suddenly discovered that I had some magical ability, like in many of these books, I would stay up for days until somebody had filled me in on every aspect of it. But she doesn't seem to be all that concerned. Now, she does keep asking, tell me about this or tell me about that, and Robbie kind of keeps blowing her off, and nobody else really talks to her. Her mom knows about it. Her grandfather, of course, although he can't really speak. People in the neighborhood, some of his old friends, know about it. Nobody seems to be too surprised to know that there's these Shadowshapers, but nobody will really tell her much about it. What it eventually boils down to, assuming I'm kind of getting it right, because this is another complaint I have, I don't think it's really ever fully explained exactly what they do. But there are spirits in the world, dead people, who the Shadowshapers can command to sort of do what they want. Now, they also kind of just help these spirits. And the spirits show up often in art, music, art, other artistic things. So Sierra, or any Shadowshaper, has the power in their left hand. And so if she holds up her hand, she can see the spirits anyway, but if she holds up her hand, the spirits kind of come through the hand, through her, and then she puts her hand on a painting, they go into the painting and kind of live there or animate it. Some of them just stay there permanently, but some of them will be there for a short period of time, and the Shadowshaper can sort of command them or kind of give them purpose to do certain things. So that's kind of cool. The story is certainly unique, and I can appreciate that. This is a world we haven't seen before, so I appreciate that. I just don't think it's done any more or any bigger or any better than lots of other urban fantasies. Now, it is urban, definitely, and I don't like the word urban as a substitute for minority. This book is definitely actually urban. It takes place in Bedford-Stuyvesant. So it is inner city. The characters are diverse. However, some of the characters I feel like are purposefully diverse. Sierra has two friends who are a lesbian couple, and their relationship didn't quite ring true to me. But it's good to have some gay characters in there. Of course, Sierra herself is Puerto Rican and talks a lot about that. A lot has been said in the reviews about her proud demeanor. She has an aunt who kind of shames everybody, shames herself, body shames her own heritage, talks to Sierra about how she needs to straighten her hair, how she can't date anybody who is darker than the sole of her foot. Sierra stands up to her, so that's great. Sierra talks about how she likes her natural hair, she likes her skin color, she likes her curves, so that is good. So I do like that. But again, some things feel a little forced, because at some point she's talking about not being stick skinny, and then later when she's not making out with, because there isn't really any explicit anything in this book. In fact, they barely even kiss. But while she is hugging the boy she likes, he kind of touches her stomach and he says, "Oh, I like a girl with a little belly fat." I find that hard to believe, that any teenage boy is really into that or is going to say that. That doesn't ring true to me. It feels like a thing that we want to tell girls, that boys like that, because we want that positive message. I just am not sure that that's going to actually happen. Her boyfriend is Haitian. He's not truly her boyfriend exactly, but that's obviously his kind of role. He's Haitian. So there is a lot of diversity, and that's great, and that's definitely going to appeal to my students, but that's not enough for the rest of the story for me. Another issue I have is at some point she is ready to kind of embrace her Shadowshaper heritage, and she says to Robbie, the boyfriend, "Please, make me a Shadowshaper." And he says, "I can't do that for you. I don't have the power. That takes some time." And then he kind of looks at her left hand and he says, "Wait a minute. Somebody already made you a Shadowshaper. You're a Shadowshaper. Let's go." It seems a little too convenient. I thought she already was, personally, but I guess she wasn't officially. She just could see the spirits. And then a final issue, which is not my only one, but another issue is, at one point, it's clear that somebody, the bad guy, knew where they were and what they were up to. And Sierra's racking her brains, trying to figure out who could have told him, who knew. And she thinks, "Oh, it was this woman who I met somewhere." She knows who she thinks it is, who could possibly have told the bad guy. And she immediately runs to this woman and says, "How dare you tell him where we are? How could you possibly have done this?" And the girl says, No, it's not me, I didn't do it." And tells her a few things that convinces Sierra it wasn't her. So the two of them run off together to look for him. Well, we never find out who the leak was or how he found out. So there just seems to be some plot holes here and there. So let me say again, the story is fine. I'm happy to have it in the library. I'm happy to explain it or show it to kids. I will definitely book talk it, because I do have a lot of Hispanic kids in my school, and they will be thrilled to find a book with them in it, because there's so few of those. So few of those. I mean, like, you think there's very few books with black characters in it, there's even fewer with Hispanic characters. So that's great. I just don't feel like it's starred review quality. I feel like it's fine. But something that's needed, especially if you have Hispanic students, or possibly especially if you don't have Hispanic students. Either way, it's a good story for that. It's a good fantasy. They'll eat that up. They'll like the ghost and the spirits and the art. So it's great for your art students too, because there's a lot made of the art in the world. So Shadowshaper, a good story, a fine story, not a great story.